Oh, hey everyone, I'm Big John, and welcome to another episode of the Disability Show here on the Big John Network. Anyway, so tomorrow is the 4th of July, and it is perhaps one of the most crowded days, along with Easter and Christmas, that the parks will be muy crowded. But there are also some great things to do on the 4th at the parks, whether in a pandemic or not. First off, over at EPCOT, when there isn't a pandemic going on, the 4th of July would be the only day of the year where you could see the Voices of Liberty on the stage in the American Adventure. But as you know, because of the pandemic, they have been doing their concerts on the stage every day now for festivals. And I think that's pretty cool because you get to sit down, relax, and watch them perform. So that is a very cool thing. Also, at Fort Wilderness, again, when there isn't a pandemic going on, there is a golf cart parade, which I mentioned when I did my on-location video at Fort Wilderness that I mashed together into one video, and I showed the golf carts and people accessorizing with them. And 4th of July, Halloween, and Christmas are when guests go wild with their golf carts for the golf cart parade. It is so cool. Awards are given to the most decorated and most well-themed golf carts, which I think is pretty cool. I've never seen it myself, but I've seen videos of it from Mouse Steps Weekly. Go check them out. Go check Mouse Steps out. They're a great channel. They were my first inspiration for doing this. And of course, one thing that people look forward to a lot on the 4th of July, fireworks. So, for those who have been with us since December 2019, when I did an on-location video about fireworks, first of all, thank you for surviving this with me. And second, I talked about if you have someone with sensory issues, have some noise-canceling headphones on hand so they could still enjoy the fireworks. That is indeed a case with me, or watch them from a distance, like from, for example, on top of Bay Lake Tower, which we did one time to watch Happily Ever After. If you haven't seen that video, scroll down. You got a lot of scrolling to do to see that one. The full one, that is. But most importantly, be safe on the 4th. Don't do anything stupid. And just celebrate our nation's 245th birthday. And when there isn't a pandemic going on, there would be a 4th of July fireworks show called A Concert in the Sky or something like that. And of course, tomorrow on the 4th, Disneyland starts doing their fireworks, and I think that's very appropriate. But so glad we have fireworks back now. And I'll finally get to see EPCOT Forever in August before it turns into Harmonious. So anyway, that's my tip. As always, let me know in the comments if you have any suggestions or any questions on how to do Disney for people with disabilities. And I'll make sure it gets into a future episode. And now it's time for this week's Top 5. So, to keep with the 4th of July theme, this week's Top 5, my Top 5 Disney American legends. You know, short movies and stuff that Disney did based on American heroes or legends. So, number 5, and this one has more of a Halloween-y vibe to it, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow with Ichabod Crane and Headless Horseman. You know, Disney, I think, tells the story the best. I mean, you can't go wrong with Bing Crosby. And it's so good. It has a little humor, a bit of history, and a teensy bit of horror. But it's in a Disney horror, which means it's not horror at all. Alright, number 4. The Brave Engineer, which was a silly symphony Disney did about American hero Casey Jones, who was a railroad engineer who delivered mail from one side of the country to the other. He was an inspiration for things like the high-speed train and email. And it's very funny. It has a lot of action to it, and I think and the narration is humorous. Egad. Number 3, the story of Johnny Appleseed, which of course which is part of the Disney movie Melody Time. If you haven't seen Melody Time, it is a real classic movie. It's on Disney Plus. I recommend you watch it because it tells many different stories with some fantastic music added to it. Sort of like Fantasia, but with more dialogue. Way more dialogue. But anyway, it really tells the story of Johnny Appleseed in a very funny way. I think the guy's name was Dennis Day or something like that. If someone can correct me in the comments. But it is so great. Number 2, Paul Bunyan. Now, I am from Maine, and according to the Disney story of Paul Bunyan, that's where Paul Bunyan was found, in a little town off the coast of Maine. And it really shows about how cool, how funny it is seeing Paul Bunyan being raised as this gargantuan baby and grew up to be an even more gargantuan lumberjack. And it's very funny, especially the parts with Paul and Babe horsing, or should I say oxing around, and throwing each other around the country. And it's very fun and educational to watch. And of course, and now my number 1 Disney American legend, John Henry. One of the earliest African-American role models. He paved his own flesh and blood against a modern approaching machine. Please look up the short. I think the short is on Disney Plus. It has great music, fantastic dialogue, and the story is breathtaking. So that's this week's top 5. Let me know in the comments what your favorite Disney American story is. Now, some news that just broke in this week. So, it's been 18 years now since the Magic Kingdom has had Mickey's PhilharMagic. And in those 18 years, Disney hasn't edited it at all. Until a recent announcement that there's going to be a new scene to Mickey's PhilharMagic themed to Coco. And for years there have been rumors about movies getting added into PhilharMagic. I, of course, was one of those people who are thinking it's going to be Frozen. But I'm surprised Coco is going to be it. Now, this doesn't mean that Frozen or Tangled or any other great musical old masterpiece will be added into the near future. Won't be added in the near future. But I think they're testing it out so that they could add some more stuff to it, which I think is cool. And I don't think they're going to be replacing in Coco with any of the other fantastic scenes. But I'll be very amazed to see where in the movie we step into Coco. You know what? I think, my personal opinion, I think it'll be between Little Mermaid and Lion King. Because that might actually help, or something like that. You never know with Disney. You never know. But you guys let me know in the comments what movie you want to see added to PhilharMagic. So anyway, that's this week's show. As I always say, let me know in the comments if you have any questions or suggestions on how to do Disney for people with disabilities, and I'll make sure it gets into a future episode. And now for this week's shout-outs. Make sure you guys check out Ginger over at Just Ginger. She does a great channel. Check her out. Also, my good buddy Michael over at Mousepiration. He does awesome videos. He does a great podcast that I had the great honor of being on a couple months ago. So check him out as well. Also, check out my buddy Micah Barnaby over at World of Micah. He does great videos from the parks and Florida in general. Check him out. And also check out my good buddy Beth over at Beth's Disney Adventures. She does great live streams from the parks each and every week. Make sure you check her out. And as always, for the latest attraction news, make sure you check out my good friends over at Attractions Magazine. And until next time, have a zippity-doo-dah day.